For the murder of the wounded, looting, cannibalism, you are hereby sentenced to death by hanging. Or torment.
Don't meddle. Take the reward and let's go.
Help me!
Knew you witches wouldn't scorn imperial gold. Tough hunt.
Tougher than yours, that's certain. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, makes no difference.
Can't fit me.
Bring her down. Do it my way. You like that, you bitch? Get the hammer. Kick her teeth in.
The degree is arbitrary, the definition's blurred. If I'm to choose between one evil and another, I'd rather not choose at all.
Just make it quick, Geralt.
What the?
Close your eyes.
Hit him. What are you doing?
Killing monsters.
Hi.
That's not very nice.
Wow.
Your face
He was
is already
horribly.
time to die.
He was attacked and horribly disfigured by Imperial mages.
You look like a monster. Oh no.
Alright, guys. Alright, this is episode 14, to Citrus. Debate raged to whether head south directly towards Verdun or north to Citrus, where they would hire a ship to sail around the continent and head south. Ser Carthis finally agreed, and so the group set out north towards the capital where Aurelius had business. Their their fellowship intact, at least for the time being, they fled the clutches of Carnifax and sought to make good on a deal which the knight had brokered. And while some may not agree with the oath, none broke their bonds of companionship just yet. And the day grew long as the sun began to fade in the distance. Alright, give me a sec. The small wagon train heads along the road north. You're still several days from the capital, moving slowly because of the wagon, and because all of you are on foot otherwise. Rothmyr, Ayla, Ser Carthis, Luesair, and the boy Indri walk beside the wagon. And I'll let you go ahead and do some roleplay while we get started here.
Are the priestess and the woman she's taking to train with us as well?
They're in the wagon.
Okay, gotcha.
As they're kind of walking alongside the cart, Ayla kind of saddles up beside Luke.
So, do you think that you could be teaching me that fire, those like little fire powers you can... I mean, I feel like that might come in handy once we part ways, if you're alright with that.
The spell is not difficult. It is rather elementary, but like many spells that call upon the plane of flame, it is dangerous if you are not disciplined enough. I could teach you, but the road is no place to learn it. you might have to stay in the capital for a little while, a few days perhaps, to master it before separating. Or perhaps I could convince you and your companions to stay around. I'm sure that the priestess here, and at this Luesair kind of motions his head towards the wagon, will not need accompaniment all the way. Not from all of you.
I know that Ser Carthis has promised to escort her all the way and said we'd be coming. It's not really my intention to be separated from him. I mean, I don't think I'd have gotten this far if I didn't have him beside me.
And how was it that you and Carthis came to know each other?
Oh, well, if memory serves correct, I mean, sometimes these years kind of feel together, though. I think it's been about 6 months now that we've been I think it was, I posted a job at a See, I had recently, my past bodyguard had retired from his services and he's looking for a new one.
Interesting. It just strikes me as strange. A noble, a Nilfgaardian noble, not even a provincial one. Heir to his father, with lands and titles and power, abandoning it all and coming to the north to work as a mercenary bodyguard? Just doesn't make sense if you ask me.
Might not make sense, but not really the first time I've seen this kind of thing. Gotta understand. I've been around a little bit longer than you. So I've seen many folk, usually men. They've got lots of brothers that are ahead of if they're young. They like to break off, try to make their own way, especially if they be thinking that they're not going to be getting any title, anything like that.
But that's just it. He had the title.
Maybe. Maybe it was something else that inspired him to leave. I'll say Ser Carthis, no, I haven't known him too long. He's a very honourable man. Always sticks by his word. He's one of the rare ones, I gotta say.
Sticking by your word can be worthwhile, but could also be a way to get you killed for nothing if you give it too freely. Tell me, has he spoken much of Ayla?
He hasn't spoken too much about her. I mean, he usually keeps clammed up about those types of things, but I usually think it takes maybe a year or so, maybe more, before people really open up. I mean, I'm an elf after all. Your people usually aren't the most kind to my people.
Yes, it is a shame. One of the few decent things that the Empire does is at least promote a modicum of tolerance. It's a second-class citizenship, but it's the same second-class citizenship they offer to non-Nilfgaardian provincials like myself.
Well, I do hope that one day, maybe as long as I'm living, I aim to try and bridge that divide, or at least be instrumental in it. I do wish that our people could come together, maybe not fight so much, maybe actually be seen on equal footing instead of attacking each other.
What do you make of the elven attempts to build a new homeland in the forests?
I don't approve of their methods of attacking the humans, anything like that, but I mean, your people did take a lot of our land from us, so just trying to build another line. It's again just the methods of doing it that I'm not really promoting. You know what I mean?
Luesair kind of nods his head and stays quiet for a moment. And what of Rothmyr? How did he come to join your band?
Actually, I think that you have Rothmyr to thank for us getting out of that prison. He's actually the reason why we even went in the first place. Said he was spotting my fiancé down there. Turns out it apparently wasn't, but I feel like that was to your benefit.
It was, and while I'm thankful that you three came, my heart still goes out to you. A lost love, even one prolonged and shrouded in mystery, is no balm to a weary.
It's been hurting for a great many years there. But, I mean, with this encounter with Carnifex, I do feel slightly closer to being able to find. I just hope I'm able to.
Just to remember, with what Carnifex said, people change. Even elves, as long-lived as they are, grow and shift. And when the time comes and you find him, and I'm sure you will, don't be blinded by your love for the man he was to who he is now. He may continue to be wonderful and may continue to be beneficent and magnanimous, but given that Carnifex was his master, he may not.
You can see Ayla kind of looks down at the ground. At this point, she would still be kind of glamored up as human ever since they really took on the priest. She's been going off occasionally, coming back, still maintaining the human guise, and her eyes kind of darken a bit as she looks down to the ground as they walk.
I fully understand people changing over time, but I at least want some sort of closure if it's not the same man as before.
Well, I hope you the best in this.
Thank you.
But yes, when we reach the city, if time permits, it should only take a few days. I could teach you the rudiments of sorry, pulling up the name of that spell. I could teach you the rudiments of Cadfan's grasp. It is not particularly challenging, though, to understand and summon. Though again, controlling it can be dangerous. Though I'm sure you will have no trouble with it. You strike me as most proficient.
Well, I'm glad I can fool you at least that way. But I'll try my best.
In the middle of your conversation, quite suddenly you realize you're on the bottom of a hill on the road, and you hear horse hooves falling on the road coming towards you from the south. Quick, quick, quick. Not at a canter, but at a run. These horses are trying to make some distance.
Ayla kind of turns around, looking towards the sound of the...
You hear that? Wonder what the rush is.
Is there any place to hide at all?
No, not really. You have a big wagon, and the horses are going to be on you sooner than later.
Well, I mean, any place for me to hide.
I was gonna say, I don't think he means everyone else.
Hold on, yeah. That's funny.
Fuck.
You have a few seconds to move where you need to move.
Ayla's actually... She's gonna, she's mostly gonna be curious as to who's approaching. And she is gonna look back to the wagon.
Maybe we should pull it off to the side just in case they need to go past.
Well, let's talk with them first and see.
Could I try to... Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth roll. But go ahead, Carthis.
Yeah, so Carthis wouldn't draw his blade just yet, not knowing who these souls are. As Ayla said, it could just be people wanting to pass, but and being in a hurry. And he will start to approach a bit. And yell back to Endry. Endry, hold for a moment now, lad. We may have to bring the wagon to the side.
He nods. Ha! And he pulls back on the reins, slowing down the two horses. Dyden, you and Nicholas have been riding for several days. You have a good lead on your prey being on this road, heading in this direction. From talking to passerbys and people at the Vinewood, the Fort Vinewood, knowing that they're slowed by a cart. Nicholas looks to you as you crest the hill, looking down on them. Well, let's see if this is who we're here for, huh?
Dyden, he just looks over to Nicholas as they're coming down the road here. Horse kind of snorting as it's tearing up the dirt. And Dyden pulls back on the reins and brings the horse to heel. As he brings it to heel and slows up right up here at the foot of the bridge, he hops off and then just starts looking at the wagon, looking at the people and see if he can get a good look at them to see if it's the people he was looking for.
Why don't you give me an awareness roll?
That's under...
I believe that's under
intelligence.
Yeah. Well, you see a human, female, down there. You hear a human female down there, or see a human female. You see a man dressed in heavy armor, and another with a malformed face carrying a staff. There's a boy in the wagon seat, which you were not told about. And Rothmyr and Dyden, give me who's got the highest who's got higher intelligence versus, I think, dexterity?
I have a dex of 6 and an intelligence of 4.
I have intelligence of 6 and a dexterity of 8.
So stealth
Is
under dexterity.
Luesair in that at all, or should it doesn't matter?
I said there's a man with a malformed face. No, that doesn't matter. There's doing a stealth. Go ahead and roll awareness versus stealth again, please.
Who?
I'm sorry. Rothmyr and Dyden.
Rothmyr, stealth, Dyden, awareness.
Yes, you guys were tied on both counts. So.
Okay, gotcha. Come on, ooh, nice.
And that's what you see. Nicholas hops off his horse and walks forward and looks down. Down there! Looking for a few people.
He's yelling to us?
Yes.
And Carthis would kind of look at Ayla and motion her back a bit with his head.
And she'll take a few steps back, but she'll kind of wave to the two approaching.
We wish you many blessings in your search, friends. You seem in quite a hurry. Should we move our wagon from the road for you?
Well, we are looking for someone who is in a wagon. Do you mind if we take a look inside?
And what does Luesair recognize that they're witchers?
They are both carrying 2 swords. It doesn't take a great leap of logic to recognize them as witchers, yeah.
And why are 2 witchers looking for a man or person? Strikes me as strange. I thought your people, your orders normally operated solo.
Dyden, he just looks back at Nicholas and catches his eye and continues walking forward. Are you going to let us look or not?
I don't see a harm in it. We are only transporting a couple of priestesses, but certainly.
Nicholas stops for a moment. And where are you transporting them from?
What was the name of the village that we were at?
You were in Vinewood. Fort Vinewood is where you came from.
They were going from the Vinewood. We were in town, and it was offered to me.
Nicholas looks to Dryden. That is fairly close from where we have come.
I see. Who exactly are you looking for?
Oh, did not get names. Boy, I wonder if you could come up here and talk to me in private.
But as he says that, Luesair is going to cast telepathy to try and read his thoughts.
Nicholas's thoughts?
I'm sorry, actually, Nicholas isn't in range, so it would be Dryden.
He's gonna get that Witcher tingle though.
Oh yeah, and you guys do. Your amulets start going off. Dryden, did you... Okay, so remove stamina.
When he's referring to boy, is he talking to...
He's talking
to...
to...
wagon?
Yep.
Oh no, not Endry.
And I'd look at Endry and I'd shake my head. You and I can have a conversation as men. You don't need to involve the child, sir. With all due respect.
Children have looser lips when you're trying to deceive someone.
I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? I'm not trying to deceive you.
Let me ask you this then. Did you come from the Carnifex estate?
Yeah, Carthis' eyes are gonna go wide. What business of yours is that?
Sorry, the spell casting is 20. If Dryden wants to try and block me from reading his thoughts, that's what he has to beat.
It says there is no defense.
So there's a sidebar on the here. I'll just read it. Telepathic spying. You could use telepathy to silently listen to a target's thoughts. This works the same as regular telepathy. If the target has a Witcher medallion, this causes it to vibrate. And if the target is a mage and has magic training, they get a chance each round to detect the telepathic spying by rolling magic. Oh nope, you can't stop it. But they would know it's happening. Their medallions would be vibrating. Then whether or not they know why that's happening is a question.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to try and stop it. He wouldn't know why his amulet is vibrating, but the moment it starts vibrating, Dryden slowly reaches back behind his back, and from across his right shoulder, he slowly pulls out his steel sword, unsheathes it, and he just holds it down next to him, next to his with his right arm, his right hand down next to his right leg, and he's just holding it, and he just starts looking at everyone in the group there.
What's going through his mind as Nicholas mentions the Carnifex estate?
His medallion. Oh, when Nicholas mentions the Carnifex estate?
Yeah. Is there like a flash of the contract or the deal or anything?
He probably just thinks of Carnifex and the estate. Yeah.
Anything about like the gold?
Probably not. I mean, just mentioning his name, the only thing Dryden would think about is the actual person. His face would, come into his mind.
Okay, got it. Luesair would, sensing that, would be like, so you've met with Carnifex, is it then?
Nicholas nods, but Dryden, go ahead and you can speak.
And Dyden looks at Luesair hiding behind a rock,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not hiding. I interpreted that as like on top of a ledge.
Yeah, it's a ledge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He looks at him. Well, you know Luesair then. Sorry, Carnifex. How do you know him?
Well, he attempted to sacrifice me to some giant beating heart to turn me into a flesh golem. Were you aware of that?
I don't know what that means. And he looks at Nicholas. I believe these are the people that we are supposed to take back.
Yes, that is quite obvious, and he unslings his steel sword as well. Come.
I thought witches were sworn to help destroy monsters, not to serve them. Luesair snaps.
Nicholas just begins walking forward.
Carthis draws steel. Ayla, get back. Endry, ride!
Endry turns and snaps on the reins of the horse.
As
Yeah, go ahead.
Carthis draws his sword, Luesair lifts a finger and mumbles in front of it, like two fingers held up to his lips, and a small spark.
Yeah, let's do initiative before we.
Okay, sorry, because
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good.
All right, so go ahead and everybody do initiative.
Oh my god.
And Dyden and Nicholas, you do not see Rothmyr hiding kind of underneath the bridge a little bit, right? Oops. All right. Luesair, you are up anyway.
So Luesair holds two fingers up to his lips and whispers into over them, and as he does so, a small spark climbs up from the base of his palm to the top of his fingers, and then disappears. And as it disappears, Ser Carthis' sword bursts into flames, giving it plus 2d6 damage and a 50% to ignite a target.
Okay. What's the stamina cost of that?
It's 2. I am using my focus, which reduces it to 1, which is the minimum.
No, it's already.
Oh, it's already reduced.
Yeah,
okay.
I
Then, yeah,
put it
it's
in
2.
there, yeah.
Okay, cool. Then it's 2, so I'm down to 41 stamina.
Are you keeping the telepathic spine active?
Not at this point. Not once combat has started.
Okay. Can everybody hear the music from Roll20?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, I
Cannot.
can't either.
It's
No.
going.
I can hear it.
If you cannot hear it, suggest reloading.
I got it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I got it now.
I'm not sure why.
Look at your sliders. If your slider.
No. It just said nothing before.
Really?
I've refreshed and
Yeah.
sorry.
I guess I have to refresh because mine says now
Okay.
playing nothing.
How about now?
Just refresh.
I just hit stop and start. Did it?
Oh,
change?
yep, now it is.
Okay. All right. Whatever. All right. So Luesair has cast a spell. Dyden, what would you like to do?
Don't I still get another like a movement or potentially second
Oh,
action?
that's true. You do. Go ahead.
I was actually going to ask. I know there's a way similar to like a Song of Ice and Fire, catching your breath to restore stamina in combat. Is that an action that I can do now?
That's
It's
a full. That's a full round action.
Full round.
So you
Okay.
cannot do it.
If that's the case, then Luesair is that's going to be it for Luesair for now.
Okay. All right, Dyden.
Dyden, seeing Luesair is obviously using magic. He takes his left hand and he balls it up into a his balls his fist up, clenches it, and as he clenches it, he whispers something into his breath, and he kind of pumps his arm down next to his side and releases his fingers up into the air, and he casts his Ken with 2 stamina to create a shield around him.
Okay. Second. And you have Ken. What does it give you? 5 hit point.
5 points per point of stamina, so 10 more hit points.
Look at that. Okay. All right, that's your first set. Would you like to do anything else? Would you like to move?
Yeah, I will go ahead and... you know what? No, I'm going to stay right here where I'm at, right next to Nicholas.
Okay. Ayla.
Ayla is she's gonna stay where she is, but she's going to hold up her hands a little and looking towards Nicholas and Dyden. Kind of a pleading expression. Look, please. Let us explain. We don't need to have swords drawn out. Yeah, verbal comment.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
She's just basically trying to plead with him. Look, we can explain what Carnifox is and what he seems. We've seen what's down there in his basement. Please let us put down the swords. She doesn't just cast anything. This round she's not doing anything. It's mostly just trying to get them to talk.
Yeah, Nicholas doesn't seem to be engaged by that comment at all. I don't know if Dyden is. You can...
No, Dyden, he's just... he's considering this a job from from someone who spoke clearly and honestly with them and dealt honestly with them and asked them to do something for him. So that's what he's doing.
Indri snaps the reins of the horses, who kick hard, actually too hard, and the wagon begins to veer off the road wildly and begins to rumble over the grass and the rock, not going very far as it starts to move. Rothmyr, you're up.
Is it possible to hold my actions?
It is. I will allow it.
Okay. He's staying back, pinned to the bridge, waiting for a certain someone to pass by.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Ser Carthis, you're up.
I see Rothmyr. I don't know where Rothmyr went.
You saw him sneak off.
Okay. Carthis would take up a position at the edge of the bridge here, and I'll hold as well. I don't see any reason to go fight them in the middle of the bridge. Carthis will have his sword drawn, tip pointed, his shield up high, and waiting to engage with the first one who comes across.
All right. It is Nicholas's turn then. Just give me a second. This is quite a bit to manage. All right. Nicholas smiles as he stands there on the bridge, and let's arrange on this thing.
Should I have this fatigue symbol on my head?
That's not really what I meant. I'm trying to do delay. There you go. That's this, whatever. I don't know. These 4, huh?
I was like, I'm not sleepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Suddenly, something bubbles up around Nicholas too. as he makes a motion in front of his body and casts his kin. And then he begins to walk forward. Let's see how far I can walk. He's not the fastest guy.
He's very slow.
Yeah. Just tell me when you want me to stop there, Rothmyr. Otherwise, he's gonna get an engagement ring with Carthis.
I'll actually let him engage him.
Okay. And that's as far as he can move. He will use his second action to attack Ser Carthis. Ser Carthis, you can interrupt if you wish.
Yeah, I'll attack.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever he comes in close, I will go ahead and do a I can do two. I would just take my turn and do. I can do 2 quick attacks, or how
You
does it
could
work?
do that. You could do that. That's be one fast. So fast attack will give you 2 attacks, right? And then the second fast attack will be negative. There's a negative to your attack plus a stamina, 3 points of stamina.
I will do just 2 for now, just the base 2, and then we'll see where we're at.
Okay.
Might spend a stamina, not sure. So yeah, as he comes into range, Carthis would do a quick stab with his blade, his cord, from behind his shield. And
19.
Nice.
He is going to parry.
Ooh.
Fail on the parry, so you hit.
23 to torso.
23 to torso. Wow.
With
Is
fire.
that including,
No,
the
yeah, not
2d6
including
fire?
2d6 fire from you.
Cadfins.
He got the spicy
Oh,
sword.
you
Yeah,
put.
I ignited his sword.
Okay, go ahead and roll the 2d6. So that would
30.
take his kin away, right?
And it's a 50% chance of lighting him on fire.
Well, it got blocked by kin, so I would say there's no way to.
Yeah, fire.
Okay.
So the fire
Fire.
blocked by the can, and then the 23 to chest.
Does kin disappear after that, or?
I believe it does.
Yeah, I believe it does too. I was just making sure. Okay, 23 you said?
Yep. And then it's 1 in 4 to bleed.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me... So 15. Okay, go ahead and do the bleed roll. I believe that is a bleed, right?
That would be a bleed. I need to look and see what bleed does again. I don't know if it's...
I think it's after the... When it's on his turn, I believe, bleeding starts. He starts taking damage. You take 2 points of damage each turn until bleeding is stopped. You can end the bleeding by either casting, so... Yeah. He's bleeding.
So Carthis will quickly stab through the flames bursting against the shield around Nicholas, but the sword striking true, clipping through his side, cutting him deep. And then Carthis will follow up with another strike, a quick fast strike to him, attempting to try to overwhelm this opponent before he gets footing.
He's gonna do a regular block this time.
He would block it.
Yeah, he just like staggers back and flips his steel sword up and catches the blade just as it before it hits him.
I will
The
spend
sneer on his
stamina.
face. Yeah, so you spend 3 stamina. Let me do one thing real quick. Okay, so you minus 3 stamina. Okay, go ahead.
Same thing, more quick attacks.
Okay. -3, okay. And he goes to block it again. He seems less sure of himself than the first time. He's able to block it.
And then another. Oh god, not great.
He's gonna parry this one. Oops. So he parries it, and that's gonna give you a negative. So -1 for stamina on him. Let me remember what parry does. I think that's your
I think it like
turn.
stuns or unbalances them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
their next attack they get like a -2 or something like that.
yeah, parry -3, but you're staggered. So so you have a -2 on your next attack or defense.
Okay.
Your next turn, the penalty goes away.
I think Rothmyr had also delayed.
He was letting him engage me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
let
I
him
know whatever
engage
Rothmyr
him,
wants to
so
do.
he can go after Nicholas then, I would say.
Yeah, I'll probably go after Nicholas.
Yeah, so Nicholas is now attacks Ser Carthis with a strong attack, seeing the heavy armor.
I will try to block.
Oof.
Oof.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, Nicholas is a monster.
I will use so I'm gonna use my shield that I have to try to block.
Yep. So
So close.
no crit.
And it was to my leg.
So you take 16. Well, you should have probably rolled melee, right? If you're using your shield. What's the difference in skill between
shield?
melee versus swordsmanship?
2, so I would have rolled 18.
That's fine. That's only 6. Still good. So you take 16 damage to your leg. It is armor piercing, which I have no idea what it does. So bear with me.
Yeah, these meteorite swords are. Yeah.
Any damage resistance of armor they go through, which that does, you don't have any. So you take 16 damage, so just lower your SP on your armor by 1, I think.
Is it halved for leg?
It
Or
is
did you
half for
roll
leg,
this, right?
but it's not even going to get through your armor. That's what I'm saying. So
Oh,
even if it was full, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, leg is.
But
well,
it
let's
was
see,
also a
leg is
strong attack.
trousers.
So it's also a strong attack. So strong attacks are multiplied. Hold on. Let me back up here. Yeah, so I think it's halved and then that's double damage. 1 second, sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, double damage, page 153 of the book.
Yeah, it's double damage, but I'm just seeing if it's after or before the location modifier.
I feel like it'd be 16. I think that's right.
Either way, it'd be 16.
Yeah, but I'm just... Alright, that's fine. Okay, so that doesn't get through.
16 damage would. My leg is 12, so that'd be I'd take 4 damage.
Okay. And then lower your SP on your armor by 1.
Get done. And then red is my hit points, right?
Correct. So you go back and forth, and you hit him badly across the stomach, and he swings a hard swing across your leg, and then he's going to use the stamina, or 3 stamina, to do something else. He is going to cast Igni. So he swings, strikes you across the leg, and then backs up slightly and smiles at the man in the heavy armor as he tries to set you on fire within it.
What's the range on that?
2 meters. It's a 2-meter cone, so it wouldn't hit anybody else. But so he is going to spend 3 to do it, which he's already done. He's going to spend up to his vigor of 2. So there we go.
I can't use a defensive action when I'm not in like damage range, right?
What defensive action would you do?
Dispel can be used as a defensive action.
I don't know if it can be used on signs though.
I mean, signs are magic.
Below magic, though. What does it say?
It specifically says spells, rituals, and hexes. It doesn't say signs.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Okay, so you can dodge or block to get out of the way. And that'd be a -1, or -1 to your stamina to do either.
Let me
I'm
see
sure
which
you're gonna want
ones.
to try.
Oh, yeah,
and you're at -2.
Wait. Can I go back? Dispel allows you to end a spell, ritual, or hex within the range of the spell. It can cancel magic with a duration and can be used as a defensive action to block magic attacks with or without physical components.
What range do you have to be within to do dispel?
10 meters.
Are you within 10 meters of Nicholas?
I'm at like 5 meters.
Okay, you could try. Give me -1 for what's dispel cost?
It's half the stamina of whatever the spell was spent on. So in this case, it would be 1 stamina.
You can cast it out of turn.
You could cast it as a defensive action, just sort of like block.
But would it be okay for
You're not defending yourself.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
right?
That's what my initial question was. Because I'm outside of the range of it, can I use it as a defensive action right now?
I mean, if you're not in range to... If your spell is within range of the attack, then I say yes, you can.
Okay. Then, yeah, seeing... Luesair seeing Nicholas prepare something and sensing the magic flowing through is going to try and dispel it.
Okay, go ahead. So that's -2 stamina for you. And then you need to help.
It's -1 stamina. It's I did roll spellcasting. It's 25. It's half the cost of the whatever.
Yeah, but to actually do it, it's to do a defensive action.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
-1 as well. So
I gotcha.
Let
Okay,
me do his
gotcha.
spell casting roll. And this is an extra action. Let's pause it. That's gonna... Yep. Okay, so he goes to do it, and it just fizzles as it comes out of his hands, and he grimaces. That is all for them, or for him, I should say.
I think Rothmyr had still saved.
Yeah, Rothmyr, you're up. Mm-hmm.
Rothmyr's going to try to come up behind him with the chloroform and knock him out.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a grappling roll. So basically you need to do a brawl attack.
Okay. And is it +5 for the sneaky...
No, you would be unaware.
Oh.
I think it is. Let me look at what I believe it is actually +5.
Yeah, I was looking at attacks. Or...
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, ambushes are +5.
It's +5, and then his defense is a -1 since you're gaining up.
Awesome. Okay, this is...
So brawl +5.
I see punch.
Yeah, you can use punch. That's fine. On your token macros, you can use punch. It's fine.
Is that a fast strike or...
No, just punch should be neither, right? I mean, you can hit fast strike. That's fine.
Okay. Unarmed, yeah. Target location.
Yeah, it's gonna be a head. So.
Head.
And then
Additional
modify
mods.
5.
Plus,
Yeah.
Just a 5.
Just put a 5 in.
Come on, give me some love.
So 15. So he's gonna try to actually dodge. Actually, he's gonna just smack at your hand with a steel sword. He's got a defense. Gonna be at a -1. Yeah, he just he turns, uncannily realizes you're behind him, turns and smacks the hand away with his sword.
Okay.
And then you can spend stamina for another action if you want.
Yeah, I'll try it. Try to get it on him again, I guess.
Oof.
Okay.
That sucks.
And this will be your second action.
Quick little bastard. Oh, I don't get the 5 modifier anymore, do I?
You do not. And then that was 3 stamina too. So 17. I don't see your second action modifier in there. So it's a -3, so 14. He's gonna try to block again.
Oof.
Oh my goodness.
Blocks don't matter though, but he's able to just knock your hand away, and he kind of looks at you sidelong.
Just be glad he didn't parry there.
All right, Luesair.
So Luesair, seeing Nicholas just like swinging and blocking and like attacking and really kind of impressed with his swordsmanship, decides to do something about it. And starts mumbling to himself and holds up his hand and points at the sword. And as he does so, Nicholas's sword begins to glow red hot. And he could either hold it and take 2d6 damage every round for the next 4 rounds, or he could drop it.
Boy, that's a good question. 2d6 damage for how many rounds?
the next 4 rounds starting this round. So he would take 2d6 damage right now, and then when it comes to him, that would be the next.
Probably on his turn. Wouldn't
Sorry,
it?
the 1d6 instead of, it says damage, but that's the number of rounds.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's going to drop it. So he looks at it and he's surprised, opens his hand, and his blade clatters to the ground at his feet.
And as he does that, Nicholas is Luesair is going to advance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to spend the stamina to do an attack.
Okay.
So do I take a negative on the attack? Since
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
I spend the stamina,
Yeah,
but it's
so-
-3?
Yeah, so if you just follow the drop downs, it should do it all for you. So if you do your sword or whatever you're going to do, and then it says extra attack, if you say yes, then it'll add it all in.
Gee, that's terrible roll.
14. He's going to try to dodge it. And he does.
Is that with the negative for him being surrounded?
-2, 14, 14. It would be a 14 versus a 14, which means attacker fails.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, then yeah, that's going to be it for Luesair. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dyden, with your Witcher surrounded.
Yeah, Dyden, seeing obviously magic coming from Luesair, he remembers his last encounter with someone who used magic, and the hate and the anger just builds up in him, and he charges Luesair.
Okay. That's a strong attack when you make it.
There we go. I was looking for my steel sword.
You lose a turn, you couldn't find it.
Ruh-roh.
Ugh.
Not great.
No.
Yeah, so seeing him coming, Luesair is going to spin a staff around to try and block it.
-1 stamina.
Oh!
Do
Should
block it.
have parried.
Go ahead and take 1 SP damage on your staff, by the way.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Dyden, that was your first attack. Would you like to do something else?
Yeah, I'll just do a fast attack against him.
Okay. So -3 stamina. Oh,
Jesus.
boy. Roll the fumble. Second button. So that's
Wow.
effectively an 8.
Some shitty rolling.
Luesair is going to parry this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a successful parry.
Let's see.
22 versus 8.
Yep, it is a successful parry, so Doc, you now have a -2 to your next attack or defense until your next turn, but you still get another. You still get another attack.
Yeah, after he parries and knocks my sword, it kind of knocks me off balance just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and make another attack against him.
Yeah, it's part of your swift strike or quick strike, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
-20 -2, so 18.
Yeah, so Luesair, like, having tried to attack Nicholas but missed, sees Dyden charging at him, and the first strike is just so strong that all he could do is, like, throw up his staff to block it. But then the Witcher before him overcommits, and on the second strike, Luesair kind of sidesteps it and just dashes it aside altogether. But the Dyden recovers very quickly and comes back at Luesair, and Luesair again can only block it, chipping away at his iron staff.
That's it for Dyden.
I imagine though Dyden expecting like a very like a mage to be like pretty deficient in physical combat is surprised to discover that Luesair is very agile and seems to be very proficient with this.
Dyden's not surprised by anything.
Okay. Luesair internally is like, this Witcher probably thought I was gonna, but yeah, that's just him being.
Ayla, you're up. Go ahead.
So Ayla looks back at Endry and the horses towards the cluster. So he's kind of veering off into the forest right now, going on the rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looks at the group. Seems like she's debating on whether to run back and help Endry. But there's two people in there, so hopefully they can survive together. And she decides to kind of stay with the group, stepping forward slightly. She looks like she's about to kind of regret what she's doing, and as Nicholas is surrounded, mutters in her breath, I'm sorry. And she's gonna cast her way on him, attempt to freeze him.
Kill them! They were sent by the necromancer! That's what Rothmyr shouts to her.
I'd rather not.
18. Go ahead and click the spell too.
Yeah,
if you don't
yeah,
mind. I just like to read it. I know what's going on. Range 8 meters. Are you within range?
I'm within 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
-2 for stamina cost.
Can you should also roll for how many rounds?
Yeah, if
Go
he
ahead and
doesn't make it.
Yeah, that's good. Right. Do that real quick.
This is dodge.
It's dodge. Okay.
Yep.
Does surround apply to spells?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think you have surround anymore, really.
Oh.
Not that it matters.
Yeah, you would. You have. Yeah, you have one.
He would have
surround for
easily
him.
made it even
Yeah.
with the surround negative.
It just like he sidesteps whatever you're doing, and you see the bridge behind him ice over slightly.
Yeah, and her hands are very shaky as she's kind of casting this. Not really assisting in her hitting, so it's very easy to miss Nicholas, even though he's kind of standing there amongst a bunch of people. Trying to see how much vigor I have.
Vigor
7,
is just
okay.
vigor is when you're casting simultaneously.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend. Can I spend 3 stamina and then cast magic healing on Carthis?
What's the range?
Oh shoot, I need to be close. Oh, let's see.
He's not
He's
hurt,
just at a
but-
range. But I can move. I'll move slightly forward after I can.
Okay.
Oh, he's not hurt right now, right?
He's not hurt. But you could do it, and then
I
if he
have
does get
4,
hurt...
but it's
Oh,
not-
yeah, that's right. He does. You're right.
Yeah, so I'll cast a magic healing on him.
Okay. What's the stamina cost on the healing itself?
5, but I do have the staff as a focus.
It should all be...
Oh, so it's 5.
Yeah.
So 3
Okay.
points of damage per round, and I think it's 1d.
I don't think she has it added in because I haven't. My magic healing is 3.
3.
Do you
Double
have
check
the
yeah.
thing set on your staff?
What's your focus? What's your focus?
It is the level 1 focus.
1,
It's just
so it costs
Oh, okay.
4 instead.
4.
Okay, I fixed that.
Thank you. Sorry to be a pain.
No, you're fine.
So I'll
So
go
3. He gets 3 hit points a round for how many rounds?
7.
7. So he's back up to 44 right now. And I'll put the blue 7 on him. Okay.
Interesting.
It's
I was
really
looking
all Ayla can do. She seems to be kind of shaking as she's standing there looking around.
Endry just is yelling, "I'm stuck! I'm stuck! I'm stuck!" And he grabs his sword and begins running towards you guys to help.
Oh no. I'll stop him.
Rothmyr, you're up.
Seeing as how the chloroform was useless, he is going to use the blades, spin both of them, and try this fast attack at Nicholas.
I would say if you were holding chloroform, you're going to have to draw it for one of your actions.
Draw the,
The
okay,
blade.
so he'll have one quick attack, is that correct?
You would basically, you'll have 2, but you'll have to spend 3 stamina to do the quick strike action. So you have to pay 3 stamina for quick strike, and you will take the negative 3 to your attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's definitely gonna spend it.
Okay, I've already deducted the stamina. Fumble roll.
These
and
are just
fumble
two.
roll.
Oh.
Is that crit fumble?
Yep.
Yes, it
So you're gonna want to hit the crit fumble button. Yep. So that's a 13.
This is not the fight to be fucking up in.
Dodge. Yeah, he just moves aside as you swing your knife.
Luckily that one wasn't that bad, huh?
That's 20, and then you get to attack again.
One more. And this is the extra action.
So quick strikes are 2 actions combined. Or I'm sorry, quick strikes are 2 attacks for 1 action. Your first action was to draw your knife.
I mean, in the input value, do I put yes on the
action?
extra?
Yes, you do.
Okay. Because that takes away a modifier.
Yeah, it will.
Give me some love.
Go ahead and roll
Critical.
your crit. So 24. He is going to try to dodge, and I'm going to use... How many luck points does he have?
Not many.
3. He's going to use all 3. You stab your dagger, and this guy, for looking like an old guy, is incredibly nimble. He you almost like cut his beard. You do actually, as he leans his head back quickly, and your blade comes underneath his chin, and you see hair falling off, and he looks displeased by that.
We'll take you apart a little bit at a time, old man.
Wait. Would he get any negatives for being surrounded?
He's got one negative, 23. So he's at a 23. Because he's not totally surrounded, because Dyden...
Yeah, but Rothmyr had 24, and so with one negative, wouldn't he hit?
Hold on, let me look. Maybe I missed something. So 23. Oh, yep. Okay. So you did hit. Go ahead. Damage was what? 4. So damage was just 4. That's all soaked anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all soaked because you didn't critical. That's what you need to do, really. So you swing. He dodges better than you might think. Your blade bouncing off his greaves. And Ser Carthis, you're up.
Ser Carthis is going to try to press his advantage, seeing that Nicholas is having to fight on 2 fronts, and just try to attack him as quickly as possible. Again, trying to overwhelm him with a series of strikes, keep him on the defensive, seeing as he has no weapon, and just going to go for fast strikes for right now.
Okay. You do heal all the way as you're doing this.
Okay. 16.
16. He's going to dodge. Fumble.
Uh-oh.
13. No, like, oh, he's bleeding too.
Yeah, so 2 damage from the bleed.
So 2 damage
What's on
from
his
the
turn
bleed.
anyway.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't think I did it last time, so so no critical. 22 damage to the torso. Again.
Fire damage as well.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your 2d6.
At least it's a good fight, you know?
32.
It's a nail biter.
32. Wow.
No, it's not.
Well, nobody got dusted right off the bat, so...
Let's see, 32 minus... So he's...
I was looking up chloroform, and it says, unlike in the movies, it actually takes about 5 minutes to render somebody unconscious holding a rag of chloroform over their face.
Alright, so he takes quite a bit of damage. He's at 9.
50% chance he's on fire, too.
Not on fire.
Okay, go ahead and give me your next swift attack.
Yeah, so pressing in, he stabs him again in the chest, this time a bit more square, rips the sword forward, and then continues to press his advantage, attacking. And not doing very well.
Go ahead and give me that.
It's an 8.
So,
Oof.
8 versus a 4, you hit.
Jesus Christ.
21 to the arm, and then fire.
So half, that's 11. Okay, so let me get this. Well, he's at 0 anyway. You can roll for fire. Go ahead and roll for fire.
Yeah, it's 8.
Okay, so he would be on fire. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. But see if he's on fire, like he's caught on fire.
No.
No, okay. So he needs to make a death save. So, primary derived. Alright, so he's gonna make the save. So, that's weird. That's not hold on 1 second. So he's... Yeah, so he staggers, but he's got to roll a 10 to fail. He does not.
Close,
So he's staggering, and then he'll be at -1 the next time he has to make one, which would be on his turn. He's like, Dyden! Run! And you hear, well, go ahead. Carthis, you can make another attack if you want.
Yes. I am spending.
Jeez.
Seeing that he has
his sword like started flaming and he had to drop it, and then he just got wrecked.
Well, he's still dodging like a madman.
15 dodge. He's not going to be dodging very well anymore because
He only has 2 in dodge too.
He's a baller.
he's not going to be doing very well.
Oh,
now.
that's to the head. That's to the head. That is going to be ×3 damage to the head.
It doesn't even really matter. Did you crit him is the question. The answer is no.
Nope.
So he takes another death save this time. He's got to get, if he rolls a 9 or a 10, he dies. So how does that look as you kill this guy?
So as he yells out for Dyden to run, Carthis presses forward, and there's no anger in it. It's just quick, straight through the skull. The fire and the blade goes through, rams it all the way through the skull, and then jams it out and looks over to Dyden and Luesair fighting. Luesair, I'm coming! And he pushes Nicholas down to the ground with his free sword, and then obviously not on this turn, but I'll start making my way towards Dyden.
As this happens, somebody climbs out of the wagon.
You kind of broke up there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As you do this, someone walks out of the wagon. It's this person, and she hops down, and she's like, Dyden! And just yells, obviously recognizing this person. Just as Ser Carthis finishes off the other Witcher.
Is Dyden wearing any metal? Like
Wearing metal?
Metal armor or anything?
No.
Yeah, he's got gambesons.
Okay. Luesair is going to do a fast attack against Dyden, pressing his advantage and being like, why are you serving Carthis? Why are you serving that monster? Or, sorry, why are you serving Carnifax? Why are you serving that monster? Sorry, C names.
$21.
And Dyden's not even... He's not even looking at the man coming at him now, the man he was just fighting. He sees Aaron walk out of the back of the wagon, and time slows down. His eyes dilate, and he can't believe that she's standing there. And he snaps back into reality as Luesair comes at him, and he just attempts to like spin around, and he's going to reposition himself. How does reposition work?
That's a good question. I'm looking it up. I think you're gonna, you make a dodge, and then if you make a CC versus your opponent's, roll athletics, and then -2 because you're staggered. And then you can move half your speed in any direction that is not blocked.
Athletics -2, but I'm going to add 2 luck.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely succeed. Oh, no, you don't.
So I try and spin around and move towards Aaron, just completely ignoring the attack, essentially not putting up much of an effort against it.
Yeah, the kin just, you hit, but it just like, boof, and just hits this magical shield that's surrounding Dyden.
Okay. Well, second attack.
How long does that -2 last?
Until your turn.
Yeah, so next
Okay.
you're coming up.
All right.
Okay. Are you gonna try? What are you trying to do this time?
I'm going to try and block this time.
Okay. I'm keeping track of everybody's stamina, so don't worry. $21 versus what was it?
23.
Okay,
Or
that's
22.
22.
Okay, so that's a hit. Half damage on that 27, so... Or 17, I should say. So it's always rounded up, I believe, in this one. So we're looking at 9. Soaked by his armor, which is... 8. So you take 1 damage. Hit you in the... left or right? Left. Okay.
Luesair is going to spend the stamina to do another fast attack.
Okay. $20.
And he's gonna attempt to block that again.
Okay. Oh, actually, you didn't take 1 damage. That was against you.
Nice block.
The 10 would be gone.
Yep.
And then Luesair gets 1 more, I think.
He does.
And almost barely noticing the strikes, just muscle memory and reflex putting his sword up. His eyes are still on Aaron as he raises his sword to, again, block.
This one's going for your head, so...
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm imagining Luesair just going all in with a series of really quick strikes, like sweeping low, sweeping high, trying to smack him in the face, and Dyden kind of automatically, barely even thinking about it, just reacting on instinct, is blocking them all, except one barely gets through and just kind of nicks his arm, barely. But I guess doesn't even nick his arm because the shielding takes care of it.
Alright, Dyden, you're up. Penalties are gone.
Dyden, he's going to... how do you disengage? Can you just do that?
Yeah, you can walk away. You won't take any... You can run in an opposite direction if you want.
Yeah, he's gonna run his full movement.
24 meters.
and he goes right to Aaron. And he pushes past Luesair, spins around, maybe a swing from Carthis, not paying them any attention, and runs straight to Aaron, forgetting everyone behind him, forgetting Nicholas, forgetting the job, forgetting all these people and all these things. And he just drops his sword, and he just looks at her, and with the best way that he can, he tries to show his happiness by this faint smile, this grin on his face as he sees her standing there. Aaron, what are you doing here?
She looks concerned and I'm going back to the temple. Get behind me.
Going back to what are you doing with these escaped prisoners?
They're prisoners? She looks confused. Now, what are just kind of getting an idea of what everybody else is doing as this conversation's happening.
So
Carthis is trying to run over to stop Endry, and because he's seeing Endry trying to run at the Witcher with a sword and knows how that's going to go, so he's just going to run over and grab Endry. Enough, boy! Stop! Stop!
He... At first it looks like he's going to try to run around you, but he does slow down. And, like... yes, sir. Ayla, what were you going to do?
Ayla was going to run to Endry, but she looks to Aaron and Dyden, and she kind of takes a step actually towards Nichols, looking back. No, we're not prisoners.
You mean Dryden, I think, talking to him, right?
Yeah, she's speaking to
Okay, yeah. And Dyden doesn't even pay attention to her. He just doesn't break eye contact with Aaron. It has been so long. I've missed you, Aaron. And his voice is low, so the others can't hear him. And he knows his sword is down at his side, at his feet, but he just doesn't care, because if he dies, he knows he's going to die looking into Aaron's eyes, and that's all that matters to him.
She looks behind Dryden and is trying to get a feel of what Rothmyr and Luesair will do. As she leans forward and puts her head on his chest very briefly, but as she looks back, she's staring over his shoulder, making sure that nobody's coming up behind him.
Rothmyr had both of his daggers out and was looking towards him, ready to attack Dryden, but now it seems like he's busy and the fight is over, so he steps over toward him and goes down and checks his coin purse for any money.
Yeah, hold on.
And starts to rob him. But he's looking up just kind of like a hungry raccoon over a meal, making sure nobody's coming toward.
Yeah, I whispered you what you find initially.
Is there a mechanism for knocking people out when they're not defending themselves?
There is.
Luesair, would try and come up behind Dryden and like knock him, not kill him, but knock him unconscious.
As soon as you try that, Aaron is going to attempt to cast a spell at you. You see in her eyes, they writhe with flame, and she holds out her hand and she says, "Step back, Nilfgaardian."
Does she actually cast it?
If you get close enough, she absolutely will.
Luesair kind of starts stepping forward, and then she says that, and he pauses. He says, "This man is dangerous. Tell him to drop his weapons and we'll tie him up so he can't be a threat to us. Otherwise,
you will not touch him."
Then you tie him up and you take responsibility for him.
Look, can we all just calm down here?
This man was sent to hunt us by Carnifax, that necromantic, psychopathic murderer. I am not being calm. He sent 2 witchers after us.
He's
Aurelius,
also...
calm yourself, Aurelius. We can handle one witcher.
As he's saying this, Dryden looks at Aaron's outstretched hand as it crosses over his shoulder, and he looks to his left at her hand almost resting on his shoulder. And the comfort it brings him is just unimaginable. He uses his foot to place it on his steel sword, and he kicks it back towards Luesair. And then he pulls out his silver sword, he drops it, and he kicks it back towards Luesair. But he just continues looking at Aaron.
Luesair, with the weapons at his feet, kind of puts his own foot forward and slides them behind him, and continues like to be on guard and looks at Aaron and Dryden and is like, "How do you know this witcher?"
Saved my life.
Did Luesair see Rothmyr like going for the coin purse?
I would say not.
You were sneaking up on me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
would say absolutely not. No.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Rothmyr is like the journeys of Rothmyr. He's gonna end up being like some sort of noble in a castle. Yeah.
I'm just aware of that. There was a lot of gold in.
Not anymore.
Didn't find anything.
And what about this one? Luesair says, kind of kicking Nicholas's corpse. Do you know this one as well?
She shakes her head. I've never seen him before.
What's his name? Luesair says, motioning towards Dryden.
And not turning to look at him, but continuing to look at Aaron. His name was Nicholas.
I meant
He was a
yours.
witcher of the cat school.
Can I do like any kind of knowledge check to know anything about the cat school?
Yeah, you could do knowledge of the cat school.
Would magic training be appropriate here, or a different
I
knowledge?
would say not. You would need what's the
Education, I think.
Yeah, I'd do education. As you're doing that, Aaron kind of looks to Ser Carthis and she says, "Sir, you have been faithful to me. I ask you not to let that one do harm to my friend."
And he would look at Luesair and look back at Aaron. Even if your friend meant to do us harm, I could not deny such a request. But I have you know this, my lady. If your friend attempts action against us again, I will have no choice.
He will not. He will not.
If I have your word, then you have mine.
She nods and takes a deep breath. Dryden, what are you doing here?
Dryden, as she talks to him, he snaps back into reality just a little bit and for the first time, breaks his gaze with her and looks around, and he sees everyone around him. We were hired to hunt down escaped prisoners. I was going to be paid very well to bring these prisoners back. The man seemed honest. He had paid us honestly for another job, to clear monsters from his ancestral crypt. And then he asked us to do this. That is why I am here, but it does not explain. Why are you here, Erin?
I have been seeking worthy disciples of the goddess of the sun. I was at this place called Vinewood Fortress, Fort Vinewood, and there have been many problems of late over the countryside. Redanian witch hunters, and though my magical skills are not what they could be, I fear for our lives, and I hired these men to take us to safety. They decided the best way was to go north to Cidaris and get a boat, and then go home from there.
Dyden slowly reaches out and he gently caresses the scar on her face as he looks at her. If you fear for your life, you shall have me for as long as you need. I will stay by your side and help you get to where you need to go. No harm shall come to you. I promise this, Erin. I promise to you.
You have your life to lead. You cannot stand by and hold my hand while I sit and give sermons and teach. What kind of life is that?
At least let me take you to where you travel. Let me be by your side and in your company for the briefest of time.
Yeah, of course. She looks to Ser Carthis and says, I would appreciate your help, Ser Carthis. And she looks to Dyden and she nods to the knight. This one, he is a good man, I think. He is the one that convinced the others to help me.
And Dyden looks over at Ser Carthis. You killed Nicholas. Nicholas was a savage dog. I would not have worked with him otherwise, if it weren't for the man who hired us. There is no love lost between him and I. I do not hate you for what you had to do. You were simply protecting yourself and your fellows here. And now that I know especially that you were protecting Erin, you will have no trouble from me. And he just nods at Ser Carthis.
I take your words as truth. Nonetheless, even if you thought him a savage dog, he was a traveling companion. I am sorry that you had to bear witness to his loss, but I appreciate your understanding.
I have seen much loss. Much loss. As he turns and looks back at Erin when he says that.
And Ser Carthis will look about. And savage dog or not, I would not wish to leave this man in the road. And go back and I shall at least move him off to the side.
Andri says, I'll help you, sir, and walks with you. And as he gets to the body, he picks up the steel meteorite sword and looks to Ser Carthis with very wide eyes. Look at this blade.
Luesair will take the silver sword and the Witcher's medallion and search the body as well.
You search the body. You find that there's no coin purse at all. He doesn't have a single silver on him. He has various things.
God.
He has some things in a scroll case, a mutagen, or a little elixir. He has various. He has a shield on his back and alchemy set and stuff like that. But mostly, what you would find in value is the weapons, probably.
Carthis would look at the sword and look at Endry, and it seems wrong to take a dead man's things. He'd look back at Dyden. Do you know this man had any kin?
And Dyden turns to Ser Carthis. I know of no family of his. He wandered the roads, looking to kill, looking to fight.
He was a Witcher. Do Witchers often have kin?
What's if you don't need?
Sorry, can you repeat that? It was breaking up there.
I'll take one of those swords if you don't need.
I think we should be burying him with his swords instead of looting them like a bunch of bandits.
I'm in agreement. And Endry, return the man his blade. He earned it and kept it for longer than you and I have been alive put together, it looks. And no one shall be taking anything more from him.
Rothmyr kind of sighs and walks off.
Endry, he looks at the sword and frowns. But sir, this is.
Let the boy keep the sword.
No.
The Witchers are always a practical lot, so I'm told. They wouldn't mind, and they wouldn't hesitate to strip weapons from each other if it serves a greater good.
Well, it's
And
not
the boy
for
needs
me. It's not for me. It's for Ser Carthis. He deserves it. He vanquished him.
No.
He's the greatest warrior I have ever seen.
Endry, I did not do it alone, my boy. And sometimes it's not right to lay claim to someone else's things even if you vanquish them. Never right, in fact.
Sir Witcher, do you object to us taking the blades and seeing them
Dyden
put to good
slowly
use?
walks across the field to the boy and puts his hand out as if to say, give me the sword.
He shrinks back slightly, but then reaches and gives you the sword. Here. I wasn't going to take it. I was just saying that Ser Carthis... I'm sorry. Sorry, Witcher, sorry.
And Dyden takes it and starts walking back towards Aaron. And as he passes Ser Carthis, with the palm of the sword, he just kind of slams it into your chest, pointed down, the blade down, sticks it there, and he just turns his head and looks at you. You failed him. It is your sword now. Use it well. And once Ser Carthis has a grasp on it, he walks back to Aaron.
Ser Carthis will take it and frown and shake his head. He'll put the sword in its sheath and he'll keep his head down. Endry, help me with the body.
Of course. And he walks next to you and he says, does this mean I get to have your sword?
While they're doing that, Luesair goes over and takes the reins of the horses and kind of whispers and like pats them and calms them and make sure they're okay, and then leads them across.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did you see my whisper, by the way?
Probably did not. Hold on.
I'm just thinking of that water, like hydro spying.
No. You don't.
Okay.
And Aaron, back with Dyden, leads leads him over to what appears to be a human female. And she says, "This is Ayla. She's gifted with the source as well. She's kind-hearted and a healer. This is Dyden, obviously a witcher."
Dryden just nods.
And Ayla looks over Dyden. Did you take any damage in the fight?
No.
No.
I think I did 1 damage to him.
No, because
it
was blocked by the...
had
that was the
one
last
kin
point of
left,
that.
and-
Yeah, that was the last point of the kin. Sorry, my bad.
You did not damage me.
I beat the shit out of your kin, though. And you didn't damage me either. I will point out in that fight, Luesair hit you, he just didn't damage you. You didn't hit Luesair.
Alright, let's continue here. So Aaron says, "And that over there with the hood on is Rothmyr. Quiet but capable, sort." And she says, "And the other one is Luesair." She frowns slightly.
Rothmyr offers a slight bow, and then looks over towards Ser Carthis. "I'll help you with his body."
That's quite all right, Rothmyr. I think that Indri and I can do it.
Alright, good. Put that boy to work.
He looks very excited that he's going to get that cord, and he helps you drag Nicholas's body wherever you're going to take it.
Yeah, I'd probably just take it off to the side somewhere in the bush, at least off the road. Don't really have time to bury him.
We could perhaps set him on fire? It's a stone bridge. We could just do it on the bridge.
No, that would impede travel, Indri. I wouldn't want to frighten other people along these roads. You may think bandits are afoot. I say give him to nature. I wish we had time to give him a proper burial, but we have a task.
He nods. "Of course, sir." He runs back to your side. And then kind of walks out. Aaron looks back to Ser Carthis and Ayla particularly and says, "I would appreciate if you do stay by my side, but I do not know about going north after all. It is a long, roundabout way, I think. Perhaps we should just go south now that we have Dyden. I don't think that that a simple Redanian witch hunter would give us any pause whatsoever."
It is mostly for the time and also to pass through the city that we were going north. And Ayla looks to Dyden. One more question. My apologies. What's your name?
And he looked at her and nods. Dyden.
Dyden. Well, you said you are hired by Carnifax, yes? Saying that we are...
Escaped convicts. Yes, that is exactly what he said.
Well, unfortunately, I believe that he'd be pulling the wool over your eyes. You see, what Luesair was saying before about him making flesh gold in the basement. I'd be witnessing that with my own eyes. It was horrible. I think he'd be asking you to bring us back, so either he could turn us into one of them, or have us work for him. He's a great danger, you see, and I understand you might want to be traveling with your friend over here, suggested Aaron. But even though I know you're not getting paid for it, unless you want to be pulling some sort of trickery or something like that, I think Carnifax needs to be taken care of.
if you catch my meaning.
I don't. What are you saying?
Carnifax is a horrible man, Dyden. He's been sacrificing a number of people. You see, I don't know exactly to the extent what he's done. People like Rothmyr have escaped his clutches. People like Luesair have escaped also. My fiancé, not exactly sure if he's escaped or he's just some sort of apprentice of his. But I feel that if left unchecked, Carnifax is going to do some extreme damage to the area. I do understand that you do have a contract out. She'll look nervously to Ser Carthis, Rothmyr and Luesair. I don't know if it's going to be doing any good for you. Maybe if you fake bringing us back at some point, collect the gold and then deal with them, so you at least get something out of it.
Rothmyr starts to laugh a little bit, and he points towards Ayla. I see where she's going with this. He is a monster. He needs to be killed.
Are we supposed to be brought back alive or dead?
It did not matter. I could bring you back alive or dead. He did not care.
Well, if there ain't a deadline on this job, maybe bring us back alive after we've left the company of the priestess.
I don't... That sounds dangerous. I would just stay away.
Luesair is coming back over with the two horses in tow at this point and says he was able to astral project through solid stone. He is a very powerful sorcerer. I doubt, even with a witcher, that we could take him even with the element of surprise. Best to try and marshal our forces and gather our strength and prepare for a more auspicious occasion.
And this is not perhaps the most appropriate time to making plans and allegiances. We've just got to have quite a scrap, and we're losing daylight. And Lady Erin of the Sun has to get to where she needs to go, as does Imlin. We can have this conversation later, Ayla. I understand your feelings, but...
Ayla frowns at Ser Carthis, turns back to the wagon. Fine. We got this conversation on the way. Still an important conversation to have.
Erin shakes her head and she says, Ayla, I appreciate your help, but Dyden will not help you unless he is paid. It is the way of the Witcher.
I understand this is the way of the Witcher. I've been around long enough to know. But at least he gets paid this way. You understand my meaning?
It sounds that this is too dangerous. I wouldn't want him to... And she just shakes her head. It's up to him.
And Dyden he's looking around at all the different conversations, and he looks to Erin as if to ask her help in making sense of what's happening, and then he looks to Ayla. Are you saying that you want to go back there, where you just escaped and ran this way, but now you want to go back that way?
She seems to bite her in her cheek. We can talk about this on the way. As it seems daylight is fading. She'll kind of glance towards Ser Carthis.
Dyden just shakes his head and he turns to Erin again. I will take you where you need to go. I will travel with you until you've reached your destination. And then from there we can decide which way our paths go.
She nods. Yes. The question is, which way to go. I prefer to go south.
Agreed. It is what I preferred to begin with, had it not been for a great deal of browbeating from several certain sources.
And how long is that exactly going to take compared to us taking a ship?
I do not know. But, to be quite honest, I believe Luesair should leave. I do not wish to travel with him anymore.
And Dryden looks at Aaron and then looks over at Luesair. Has he harmed you?
I have
She
done no such
smiles.
thing and never touched the woman and never... She...
He's Nilfgaardian.
I am
Right.
not Nilfgaardian, and you know that. You, Ser Carthis, you were actually born in the heart of the Empire. You are a Nilfgaardian noble. And your kind has done much to oppress mine.
No, he has not harmed me, Dryden. He is simply... just not someone I would prefer to be around very often.
She finds my continence distasteful. I understand.
Well, when the first thing you say when you meet someone is ask them where they have got their own disfigurement, it does not set things on the right foot. Would you enjoy someone to come to you and ask you what happened to your face?
It happens quite often, and I respond truthfully.
That is not what I asked. I said, how does it make you feel? Do you enjoy that mockery?
I enjoy it more than people pretending it didn't happen. And I seem to recall a quite long conversation before I gently broached the subject, but that is neither here nor there. You do not wish to travel with me, and I understand that. My destination lies north. You wish to go south. We could part ways, and you never have to see me again and never have to deal with me again. I have no quarrel with that. And I wish you the best in your travels, and I wish young England the best in her studies.
She nods. Very well. For the rest of you, I would offer what I can, which is little, I admit. If you wish to come with the Dryden and I south. She looks to Ser Carthis specifically when she says that.
And Carthis looks at Luesair, remembering a difficult history, but a history nonetheless, and looks at Aaron and nods. I made a promise to Inland's father. I don't intend to break my word. I would have a word with my compatriot before we depart, though. Exchange ways, and kind of motions his head to Luesair.
Of course. It is growing dark. We can camp here. And then be on our way, whichever way we might go in the morn.
Very well. I think, if that is the case, if we will camp here, I think instead I will find a proper place to bury Nicholas before we go. Rothmyr, he kind of looks at Roth. Would you help in setting up the campfire? I think I will try to find a spade and do a correct service for this witcher, despite his past.
Of course.
Looking at Dryden, Luesair asks, are there any cat school witcher burial rites that might be appropriate?
And Dryden just looks at him. Burn him, bury him. Do what you must. It is of no concern anymore. He does not care.
And Ser Carthis will go into the back of the wagon and try to find some tools to bury Nicholas.
Yeah, you probably have a shovel. Let's just take 5 minutes while I put some things together real quick, and then.
Sounds good. Nobody likes Luesair. Yeah.
Oh, Ayla likes Luesair.
I know. I'm teasing.
Everyone else hates it.
Well, I'm kind of prone to subs because we were fighting.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Rothmyr doesn't mind him too much. He's similar in some ways.
They both hate the Empire.
Yeah, Dryden, the fighting doesn't help, but the fact that Aaron doesn't like you, he's really not going to like you.
Yeah.
Or Luesair.
Oof.
Morellis. Good old Van Iverhorn.
I could not believe she came out of the back of that wagon.
I knew this was coming. I'm like, oh, that's why fucking Ted asked you not to watch this video or not to sit in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it connects to Doc. It totally connects to Doc.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, I
died,
guess so.
though.
Oh, this is the one that he told
He's
me
like,
not to.
Don't sit in.
Don't watch the VOD.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Of course, it happens the round immediately after we kill Nicholas.
That was planned.
It was good. It was good timing, definitely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, Dryden still almost died because if the headshot would have connected from the staff, that would have been 54 damage to the skull.
Dryden, more like dying.
That would have been
Dyden.
that would have been fucking outrageous even through Ken.
That'd been hilarious.
But
He's like, Dryden, right as he gets him like a staff through the eye into the
fucking
brainstem.
tomato skull.
Yeah, staph infection now.
But he
Ew.
blocked it.
Yeah, he did. We were saying if that had connected, it would have been like 50.
It would have been 17 times 3. And I don't. You have head. I think you have like an archer hood, don't you?
I use something like that. Yeah.
So it would have been like 2 soak and then fucking 51 damage or something stupid. Yeah, no, 49.
Headshots can definitely kill.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, as we've seen.
As they should.
Yeah, as they should. That's exactly correct. And I mean, Slip really, she took a headshot when she lost her arm, and I just said, okay, you can choose either I'll cut off your arm, your archery arm, or you die. That was really that's what she chose. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. Sometimes I don't have a slide for everything. I'm surprised.
Happens to all of us.
Wow.
Not
No camping
usually.
slide?
I don't have a camping slide.
Oh my god, I'm not even mad, I'm disappointed.
I don't have a camping slide, nor do I have a funeral pile slide.
Camping slide should be like the basic
I
slide for
know,
every
I
fantasy
know.
game.
Yeah.
I know. I have 120. I have like 8 slides up, and I have 120 archived, and I don't have a camping slide.
You failed us.
I do have a camping slide in the desert, but almost there.
Shameful.
I know.
I was hoping some people would walk out on that bridge and they could use Axie or whatever it is to just kind of knock them off into the water.
Spell.
Yeah.
That's all it would be. It's just us assholes in the back. I'd just be dispelling. Like, I'm doing something instead of doing nothing.
You healed Carthis.
Yay. Hooray. I have just a wave of a character.
I honestly thought when like Luesair like lit Nicholas's sword on fire that he was going to be super vulnerable because his like sword skill is so high, and his dodge skill is relatively low. But like he was just dodging like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but he really lost his head in the end.
Ooh.
God,
Has a real headache now.
He went head over heels for it, you know.
Did you need a camping slide?
Got
Camping?
him! Holy shit,
yeah, I
Ted.
can use one later.
I
What
got
was that,
good
Matt?
one.
Nicholas's last words. Only took 3 you fuckers to kill me.
He's so good.
No, I'm good for now.
Okay.
You can just send it to me on Discord and I might use it later, but I got one that's okay.
Rothmyr trying to give Nicholas the sleepy gas was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just stab this dude. I'm gonna put him to fucking sleep. That's what I
Take
like.
a
I like that kind of
nip.
initiative. Effective? Not sure.
For a second, I didn't realize that was a pyre, and I'm like, oh god, why are we in a flaming forest?
It's too bad my punching skills are lame as hell. I was like,
Good scrub.
yeah, too bad. Too bad I couldn't wipe this on my daggers or something.
Smell my daggers.
Smell my dagger. It's in your face.
Okay.
This is Rib Breaker.
Rib breaker.
And face cutter.
It's not a couple
Cheek
of fucking
whitener.
ogre bodyguards from Warhammer or something.
Yeah.
I'm face breaker. I'm a rib cutter. Wait, wrong names.
This blade is called Slightly Inconvenient.
This is more inconvenient.
Alrighty, so you spend the next couple hours setting up camp and building a funeral pyre for Nicholas, a small one. You lay his body on top of the branches and a couple of small logs. I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, so Ser Carthis would get all the kindling set and have the flames looking around, assuming no one has any real last words. This man did intend to kill us by all means, and just kind of sets the fire, mostly unceremoniously, letting it build up, and begins to put away whatever tools he used to set this up.
Dyden doesn't say anything. He just looks at the flames and the light reflecting in his eyes. He just stares as Nicholas starts burning on the pyre. And just kind of gets caught up in the embers as they start drifting off into the dark sky.
Eventually his form changes. He's completely covered in flames. His beard and hair burned. His skin melted until there's nothing left but bones and smoldering ash.
Rothmyr is going to look over at Endry, see what his reaction is.
Seems to be watching wide-eyed with a curiosity. He doesn't appear to be afraid, but he's standing close to Ser Carthis, looking at the hilt of his cord.
Rothmyr will kind of go down on one knee next to him and pat him on the shoulder. You're a brave lad.
Oh, not so brave, just, I guess when you hang out with a werewolf, a dead witcher is not all that scary.
He smiles at him and he says, you make a good page to Ser Carthis.
Squire, I hope one day.
Just, don't charge towards any witchers in the future.
Oh, well, I think there was not any problem the way Ser Carthis was handling them with ease. As long as he's by my side, we can defeat anyone. We should go get this Carnifax. Ser Carthis would strike him down, no doubt.
Rothmyr smiles and nods to him and looks towards Ser Carthis.
Ser Carthis stands there and... Endry, I thank you for your praise, but you're far too loose with it. This was not a one-man's victory. Without Luesair and Rothmyr, that Witcher would have gutted me like a fish.
I saw what happened. I'm not blind, Ser Carthis. You're the one who did most of the work. No offense, Rothmyr, but...
No offense taken. He's a good warrior.
You must learn temperance, Endry. That's all.
I must say, Nicholas was a good warrior too.
But not good enough for Ser Carthis the Bold. Smiles.
Let's come have a seat near the fire, Endry.
He smiles and nods. Continues to watch the fire burn. Eventually, you make your way around the campfire, unless you guys, anybody have anything else to do at the pyre?
No. But as they're kind of walking away from the pyre, Dyden, he looks at Aaron. He's just basically been watching her the whole time. But he's half heard the conversation going on over, with the young boy. And as they're walking away, he just kind of, as an aside to Ser Carthis, do not worry. His praise will be short one day. Like all men, you will disappoint him. All children are disappointed by men at some point in their lives. And he just turns and continues walking back towards the wagon.
Endry looks with wide eyes, and he looks like he's going to protest, but...
No, Carthis grabs him by the shoulders.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe he was disappointed when he was a child, and that's why his parents gave him away to the Witchers to become a freak.
Peace, Endry, peace. Witchers do not get to choose the path they walk. That is their burden. And there is wisdom in those men's words, though his delivery is poor. Come, pay no mind.
He nods and stands up and kind of puffs out his chest. Don't worry, Ser Carthis, I'll be by your side, and I hope to make you proud.
Of course, lad. Of course.
You walk not far over to where the campfire is. You find Luesair there, tending to the two horses that the Witchers came in on, and your two horses in the wagon. Aaron walks close to Dyden, frequently leaning against his shoulder. And this is, if you guys need to discuss what you're going to do next, this is the time to do it.
Dyden, he's just appreciating the proximity and the comfort that's coming from Aaron. And he personally has nothing to discuss. He's just taking in all he can get from Aaron while he not knowing when their paths might diverge yet once again in their lives.
As Luesair's kind of tending to the horses, Ayla just approach from the side. Luesair?
Ayla, Luesair responds, still very gently, very lovingly, brushing off the horses, inspecting their hooves, with the kind of measured approach, the kind of measured presence that suggests he spent a lot of time around these animals in his life.
And she takes a moment kind of watching him take care of the horses before looking back to him. I guess that due to Aaron's displeasure with you, they're going to be departing from us.
The Lady Erin has made it abundantly clear she does not consider my companionship worthwhile. There's nothing I could do about that. If she wishes to travel south, rather than taking the sea route, that is her prerogative. My business lies to the north. If you and the others decide to accompany her, then I guess that would be the end of our acquaintanceship. Though I admit it saddens me.
Ayla nods, kind of looking back to the others. Well, I know that going south is probably going to take quite a bit of time. And, well, myself, I'm not exactly sure if the trail to my fiancé is still going to be as warm as it is now. Personally, I'm really not that keen on leaving the area too much. She looks back to Luesair. Also, it's a bit nice being in the comfort of another mage. I'm not gonna be fooling there. I don't know if you'd be willing to. Though I do not really want to part from Ser Carthis' company, as he's a very useful ally in the past few months. I'm thinking about meeting back up with him later on, if you'd be willing to have me accompany you north.
Luesair pauses for a second and just kind of stops and rests both arms on one of the horses and then looks over at her and says, I would like that very much. I admit I think we have much in common, and I found your presence on this journey reassuring, and the thought of separation was disquieting.
I've got to agree. Not really, the other mages that I've really encountered, though far and few between, have not really been the most kind in general. You're the first one in quite a while that is, well, been pleasant to be speaking to. I'd hate to be parting ways at this point.
Aye, and we are like you and I. We both believe in things larger than ourselves. We're both outsiders in a way, and we've both had too much taken from us. I feel like there is much we could learn from one another, and I am happy to hear that you wish to accompany me. Perhaps we could also approach Rothmyr. He seems a useful sort, and I'm not sure what his interest in the south would be.
Ayla smiles. Yes, I do know that. I know Rothmyr, based on the short period of time that I've known him. He's definitely going to be expecting getting paid. That's kind of his whole thing. But
Well, you don't think he found enough gold on that witcher's corpse?
well, just like most men, he's always hungry for more. Still going to be expecting getting paid if still traveling. I think that if things are in mind, there needs to be a goal for him, some sort of payment. He will, I will say, very good fighter from what I've seen. I'm not fully disquieted by his presence, and, well, we could approach him, see what he thinks. Though,
I may speak with him this before this evening is over and gauge his interest.
I will break the news to Ser Carthis. I do know he's probably going to be a bit disappointed, but this is his mission that he's taken upon himself. My mission is still here.
I must admit, Ser Carthis surprises me. I knew him so long ago, and he seemed such a different man. I still do not know what to make of him and his apparent change, but he seems to have been a good friend to you. And he was a good companion these few days.
I would not say friend, more of an ally than anything. Not long enough to know someone to be a friend, at least for my tastes.
You are an elf. Your life is long and blessed that way.
Some say blessed, some say cursed. I've seen many die that I've known for a number of years.
My parents disappeared when I was but a child. Barely 12. Just one night they woke me up. They told me they loved me and that everything was going to be okay, and then the next morning they were gone. And I've never seen them again. That disappearance has filled me with sadness my entire life, but I would still not trade having them and the memories I have with them for anything in the world. They helped make me who I am, and in my darkest moments, such as when I was stuck in that prison, I like to think of them. In the same way, I imagine, you've had many friends like myself, many human friends who unfortunately do not live as long, but would you trade all the good, all the memories you have of them for that sadness to not be there?
And Ayla smiles, looks at Luesair. I do like how you're attempting to give me some sort of education on friendships and the like.
Apologies, the student sometimes doesn't know when to stop lecturing the master.
Maybe master of relationships, but very novice at most things. Anyway, I suggest you be talking to Rothmyr. I will speak to Ser Carthis and say my goodbyes to Endry. A short, brief time, I definitely will miss the boy. I used to have a small one around.
He's precocious. His hero worship might become a problem, but Ser Carthis seems to have that in hand at the moment.
Well, I do hope so. I'd be very angry if anything happened to that little boy. But Ayla kind of nods and walks off to go and speak to Ser Carthis.
And Luesair will try and look for an opportunity to speak with Rothmyr.
Let's do the Rothmyr bit first.
So Luesair, where does Luesair find Rothmyr? Like, what's Rothmyr do?
He's accepting a flagon of ale from inland by the fire. Pretty close to everybody else, I'm guessing. I think everybody is close to the fire right now.
Yeah, she brings over an ale from a keg. You had a small keg that you had brought from Fort Vinewood. And she curtsies and heads back to tend to Aaron, leaving the two of you more or less kind of by yourselves, although other people are sitting around the fire, but not directly next to you.
So Luesair kind of sits down and takes a glass of ale and sips it, and leans closer to Rothmyr so that his voice doesn't carry, and says, "So, Dyden mentioned that the witches had just completed another job for Carnif."
Rothmyr still looking towards inland, kind of making what to think of her, and then looks over and kind of sighs towards Luesair while taking a drink. Yeah.
You broke up there, sorry.
Yeah, so what? What are you thinking?
Well, when I searched him, there was no gold.
Rothmyr kind of shuffles a little bit, a little uncomfortable. What do you mean, the Witcher?
You don't need to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to demand any of the coin you took. And I'm not going to mention it to the others. But I have a question.
Wasn't that much, anyway.
Is it the coin you're really after, or is the coin merely a means to an end?
Well, of course. Aren't we all after coin? Glory.
I get the sense you're after more than that. You see, I think us two are more alike than many may think. For instance, we both despise the Empire.
This is true.
And wouldn't you like to put your skills and your coin towards striking back at?
I would like to see his head on a spike, if that's what you mean. And I would like to raid his rich mansion.
What if theoretically I told you I was in contact with certain members of an organization dedicated to just that? And what if I told you that I had an important mission to the north? One that could provide an avenue to helping weaken the Empire permanently.
You can see an obvious interest in his eyes as he takes a sip after you say that. And he says, then I would be interested very much to hear what you have to say about that.
Ayla and I are going north to Sidaris. You have shown yourself to be a most competent warrior and a very shrewd man. Not only do I believe there's more coin going with us than with Ser Carthis and Aaron and Dyden and the lot, I also believe there's opportunity to help accomplish what you really want. Hurting the Empire, robbing them of the wealth they have stolen from so many others, and building the kind of power that would make you a player on a much larger stage.
It sounds like fun. I'm in. When do we leave?
I believe we're camping here tonight, and in the morning we will head north while the others head south, and I could tell you more then.
Who all is leaving with us?
I believe it is Ayla, you, and myself. Aaron, Dyden, Carthis, the boy, the priestess-to-be, they wish to head south.
This displeases me. Not only do I have to see your ugly face for longer, but it was nice to have Ser Carthis' sword.
He was a good knight, but let's be honest, we all know that if it came down to it, you'd be the one to take him in a fight.
That's true. He laughs and he takes a drink.
Luesair holds out his cup and kind of cheers and takes a drink as well.
Yeah, as you cheers, the scene switches to Ayla walking over towards Ser Carthis and Endry. Endry's laying under his blanket, snoring very, very softly. His face is illuminated by the flames of the fire. And you see Ser Carthis sitting there. Go ahead.
Ayla walks over to Ser Carthis, looking down at Andre sleeping. She gives a bit of a smile before sitting by Ser Carthis, crossing her legs. That was a hell of a day, I'd say.
Putting it mildly. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
And Carthis is sitting there with the sword in his hands, kind of holding it by the blade, looking at it with the fire, the Witcher's sword that Dryden gave him. Do you think I should get rid of this?
I think you should be bearing it with the man who used to wield it. I think a man should be buried with his swords.
I know the other Witcher gave it to me, but ever since he did, I've just felt this overwhelming sense of guilt.
I would be doing it too. He might have been a monster of us, maybe in terms of what Dyden has been saying, but probably no lie that he's solved a lot of problems in this world, got rid of a lot of evils, though it might have been for coin. Probably has done a lot of good though. I think a man such as that should be buried with his blades.
I'll put it with his pyre before Andre wakes up.
Of course.
Carthis would sheath the sword for now. And you have something on your mind, it looks like.
I do, Ser Carthis. She kind of wrings her hands a little bit, looking out to the fire. I know we've been talking about going south, doing the mission you got yourself into with the priestess. But considering the fact that going all the way back south gonna take quite a while. Thing is, I got a few concerns. Primarily being that I'm not really sure I want to be leaving the area. I mean, though it's only been talked about by Carnifax, I feel like I'm closer to Elian than ever. It's not really something I want to be leaving behind for some priestess. Though I understand there's a duty to be doing that. I just can't abandon this mission.
And Carthis looks thoughtfully at Ayla and then kind of nods. So it's termination of service then?
At this point, yeah. But after you've finished escorting her, I'm sure you'll be fine, considering you helped end a Witcher. Well, if you'd like to find me, I'm going to be traveling with Luesair.
And Carthis nods. That's fair enough. Luesair's a decent sort. We had our differences back in Nilfgaard, but at his core, he's a decent man. Whatever happened to him, it's changed him a bit. Made him more angry at everyone, but a good man at his core nonetheless.
I don't know if I can be helping at all in that way for him, but I can surely try. Plus, and she kind of looks down at her hands and closes them to a face. It's not something that I've ever really studied before, and finally meeting another mage who can actually do something in terms of defending themselves. Might be nice to learn from someone else instead of being defended all the time.
Just don't overexert yourself, Ayla.
Of course.
Well, Andrew will be sad, but He's going to be upset about quite a few things in the morning. I imagine I'll have to talk with him quite a bit. But he's very much looking forward to that sword.
I'm going to be upset about leaving the lad too. I do get attached to little ones really quickly. It's always been nice to have a small one around. Makes me feel like they're my own. She looks to Henry sleeping and there's a bit of a smile. I'll miss the two of you. That's for sure.
I'm sure our paths will cross again. He kind of pats Ayla on the shoulder and he looks over at Endry. I need to go put this back in the woods near the Witcher before we leave. Or else I'll not be able to rest tonight if I have it up my belt.
Of course. Well, we'll depart in the morning, Carthis. We'll say our goodbyes then.
Carthis nods and sleep well, Ayla. And then he will steal off to where the pyre was to return the Witcher's blade and regain his peace of mind.
As Ser Carthis walks to the pyre and lays down the Witcher's steel sword.
Tet, you cut out there.
Yeah.
As Ser Carthis heads to the pyre and lays down the Witcher's steel sword next to the body on the embers, the scene switches to Erin seated next to Dyden, laying down, her head in his lap, sleeping. And I'll give Dyden the final word as the scene will fade to black afterwards.
Dyden just looking into the flames and the embers wisping and moving up into the air, floating into the dark night. He's looking down and can't believe the fortune that has fallen into his lap. As he runs his hand over Erin's hair, he looks down at her with such a deep emotion of love that he doesn't know how to express, that he doesn't know how to verbalize, that he doesn't know how to show. And so he caresses her head as she sleeps and runs his fingers through her hair, gently over her cheek. And he knows that he is here to protect her, and that if he could, he would always be by her side to protect her. And then he closes his eyes and stays sitting there and begins meditating to protect her while she sleeps.
The camera pans out, focused on the fire. It eventually fades to black as the night passes and a new day dawns, and the breaking of this new fellowship comes to pass. And that's it.
Fuck you for bringing her into this.